What it do, Dream Team? It's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video. Here we go with why America is just okay. I'm intrigued to hear the explanation behind this. I've seen a lot of videos that prove it, but I'm interested to see what this one got to say. Before we jump in, y'all know, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media, Patreon, all up top. You want to subscribe to any of it, put all the links in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Human, I talk back. You got a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon or there's a Google form link in the description. What we got?
America, the greatest country on earth. A narrative packed and sold to tiny patriots, reinforced by every cartoon, movie, cheeseburger, and mattress sale.
Guaranteed.
A mythology so entrenched, our most beloved personalities urge us never to question it.
Don't let anyone ever tell you that this country isn't great. This right now is the greatest country on earth.
Greatest country God ever gave me.
You're the greatest country in the world, I'll tell you that.
No, America's the greatest country in the world.
But what if we did question it?
Hey, everybody do what he said, and you know what I'm saying? All of our leaders, all of our media, all of the movies, all of that. All of you do hear that so much. Huh. Kind of almost inspired me though.
But what if we did question it?
America's spirit started to rise.
Now, hold on, patriots. I know what you're thinking. America's done some pretty great stuff. And you're right. We built a kick-ass democracy, walked on the moon, and we built universities so prestigious that even Taliban warlords send their kids.
And they're still very patient.
By the time the Cold War was waning and baby boomers were booming out their own babies, it truly felt like we were the greatest country on earth. Now, listen, of course, there's no single way to measure greatness, but one good test is how we rank into OECD, which is basically a golf club of 36 countries, predominantly wealthy, Western, and democratic. And unlike most golf clubs, this one's got some diversity, too.
Yeah.
America is the richest country in this club.
Oh, I just got that joke. Unlike most golf clubs, this one's got some diversity. That was good.
Some diversity, too. America is the richest country in this club, but we're also the poorest, with a whopping 18% poverty rate, closer to Mexico than Western Europe. 12.8 million American children live in poverty. That's almost 1 in 5 of our kids. And speaking of kids, turns out at the level of high school science, we're 19th of 36. Reading, 20th. And math, a dismal 30th. Now, I'm not that good at math, not America's fault, but that does not add up well, and neither does this. We spend more on healthcare than any other country in the golf club, especially out of our own private little pockets. But we live sicker and shorter lives. We're fatter. And
because y'all made it too expensive. Y'all, it's too much money to actually use the healthcare that you're spending all this money on. We can't afford to use it. But sheesh. Our education was so low.
Little pockets. But we live sicker and shorter lives. We're fatter. And globally, we're more likely to see newborns die. We're even behind Bosnia.
But we have freedom in America, and everyone's jealous or something.
The enemies of freedom.
Pursuing the enemies of freedom.
The enemies of freedom.
And other enemies of freedom.
Turns out, a lot of countries have freedoms. And while we boast about them, using our rights is a different story. Only 56% of Americans turn out to vote, while it's closer to 80% in countries like Denmark.
I think somebody called me out on that, and they were absolutely right. They were, because I was talking about the gun violence and how something needs to be done to put more restrictions on guns. And they said, but you can't even bother to vote. And that hit me because it was true. Like, stuff that's not true doesn't bother. When people say stuff about me that it's not true, it absolutely doesn't bother me. But that one hit me because it's actually, what they said is actually true. What they said is absolutely right. And I definitely do need to do my part. So shout out to, if you're watching this video, shout out to the person that called me out. I actually appreciate that. What you said was dead on.
Percent of Americans turn out to vote, while it's closer to 80% in countries like Denmark and Australia. And it's getting worse. This year, America slid on global rankings of corruption and freedom and dropped from a functional to a flawed democracy. So what, besides our economy and military, are we actually number one in? Turns out, a lot of things. Civilian gun ownership, mass shootings, TV watching, prescription drug abuse, prison population. Oh, and almost number one on environmental damage, edged out by China.
We're not number one.
It's gotten to a point where I think there are specific times and places where you can confuse America for a developing country, as elections are tampered with, water can't be drunk from taps, citizens don't trust uniformed officers, infrastructure is crumbling, and where a dual system is emerging when public services are for sale for the highest bidder. You see this in countries like Pakistan or Nigeria, where the rich don't worry about the sad state of electricity or police because, well, they have generators and private security. Or in America, where the Kardashians rent their own firefighting force.
We were fortunate enough and blessed enough, and I know that not everyone has this luxury available to them, but we were able to get private firefighters.
When health, education, and...
You can get private fire? God dang, that's crazy. Yeah, like you said, we are the developing nations in some of these areas. That's wild, bro.
Available to them, but we were able to get private firefighters.
When health, education, and safety are increasingly privatized or driven by privilege, the truth is, how great America is really depends on how rich you are. Now, I'm not saying we're Pakistan or Nigeria or any number of what we like to call developing countries, but we're not perched as high above them as we'd like to think. We got so caught up in the rhetoric about America being the greatest country on earth that we've long ignored the cracks in our system. And while a bit of patriotism is great, jingoism is dangerous, especially when it's built on old or fake news. So as we gear up for another election season where politicians tell us America is great, or that it isn't, and then proceed to make it worse, let's try a more truthful approach. America may once have been the greatest, but today, America, we're just okay.
That hurts. That hurt to hear. Know what I'm saying? For most Americans, I know that hurts to hear. But what they're saying is absolutely true, and that's what's crazy. And it's like, yeah, for if you're rich, if you're a part of the top 1%, or know what I'm saying, or and when it comes to politics and stuff, if you're one of those senators or presidents, America is the greatest country on earth for them. No other country can beat it, big time. But if you're not a part of that 1%, know what I'm saying, then you see all of the problems that America has. And it's like, we may not be the greatest country. That's all we got for this one. You guys got a favorite video you want to see or hear me react to, you can subscribe to Patreon, leave a suggestion, or in the description section there's a Google form link. Hit the link, fill out your suggestion, send it to me. You want me to get to yours faster, others fill out premium. Make sure you hit subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. Social media, Patreon, all up top. You can subscribe to any of it, for all the links in the description. All you gotta do is hit the link, follow me, talk to me. Love talking to you guys. You guys are the most incredible team on YouTube. It's your boy D Neal, out.